Senior U.S. officials will travel Mexico on Wednesday to ask their counterparts for more help reduce border crossings as President Joe Biden faces increasing pressure over his management of the U.S. southern border. Immigration has become a political vulnerability for Biden amid harsh criticism from Republicans and some members of his own party about the situation at the U.S. Mexico border. This month, issue has fallen to center of president's foreign policy agenda as White House lobbies for aid to Ukraine and Israel during war effort. The lack consensus on border policy changes ultimately prevented Biden from securing billions of dollars in funding for Ukraine, Israel and border before the end year. Ahead of Wednesday's meeting, Homeland Security officials discussed several ways Mexico could help reduce numbers at the U.S. border, and their demands would include moving south, controlling the railroads that migrants use to go north and ensuring move south. Incentives stay in the country and not go to the border, such as visas avoid irregular migration. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas and White House Homeland Security Advisor Liz Sherwood-Randall will attend the meeting, which ends the year that started with immigration as an important issue. In January, Biden met with Mexican President Andrés Manuel Lopez Obrador in Mexico City for the North American Leaders Summit, where he and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau discussed migration flows in the region. Nearly a year later, and despite a range of measures aimed at deterring irregular migration, record numbers of migrants moving across the Western Hemisphere remain a pressing problem for the United States and Mexico. The number of migrants currently traveling in a caravan towards the U.S. southern border has fallen about 3,000 due to dispersal, according to estimates shared with CNN by the UN High Commissioner for Refugees. Migrants are trying to pressure Mexican officials to provide documents allowing people who have previously crossed into Mexico move across the country. According to interviews, lack of documentation appears have factored into immigrants' decisions go the United States, including those who wanted seek asylum or stay in Mexico. This fuels current caravan passing through Mexico. Immigration often ebbs flows, and in recent weeks a new wave of immigrants fleeing deteriorating conditions at home has already strained federal-state resources. Current and former Homeland Security officials have warned that the border is nearing breaking point. Border authorities apprehended nearly 6,000 migrants at the U.S.-Mexico border on Tuesday. According to a Homeland Security official, this marks a decrease from previous days. Earlier this month, the 7-day average hovering around 9,600 encounters. This was a jump from late November, when the average 6,800. The latest numbers reflect some relief for U.S. border officials, but officials are still